Hello everyone, may our learning today and all of our learnings be for protection, lizchut, all of Am Yisrael, especially for the soldiers and for those who are being held captive. Avraham Avinu goes to Israel. Yitzchak is never allowed to leave Israel. Yaakov is forced to run away from Israel. This week in our Parsha, Parashat Vayetze, we learn about a very special connection between our nation and the land of Israel, going back as far as Avraham Avinu. Yaakov needs to escape because his brother Esav is trying to kill him. He is escaping to his uncle's house, Lavan. Over there he meets Rachel and falls in love with her, wants to marry her, makes a deal with Lavan that he is going to marry her after working for 7 years for her hand in marriage. After the 7 years of working that passed like a blink of an eye with how much he loves Rachel, in the next morning he wakes up and he realizes that he married Leah. He goes to Lavan and says, "How could you have done something like this to me?" And Lavan's response is, "Well, of course. The older girl, she gets married first. That's a custom. It is known, everybody knows that over here. If you will also like Rachel, work another 7 years." Yaakov does and marries Rachel as well. He is married now to both sisters. And while he is married to them, he loves Rachel substantially more than he loves Leah. God has mercy on Leah, and Leah starts having children right away. Reuven comes first, then Shimon, then Levi, her fourth son Yehuda. And at that point, Rachel goes over to Yaakov with not being able to have children, and goes over to Yaakov and says, "Give me children, and if not, I'm late. It's like I'm dead. Where's my continuation? Give me children." And Yaakov responds, "Hatachat Elohim anochi? Am I under God instead of God?" And we only hear this phrase one more time in the entire Torah, Hatachat Elohim anochi. And that is in the end of the book of Bereshit, in Parashat Vayechi. After Yaakov dies, the brothers come to Yosef and said, "Your father's last wish was that you forgive us for selling you and for everything that we did," which was not true. Yaakov was unaware of all of this. And Yosef breaks down and cries and says, "Hatachat Elohim anochi." Right? Are you concerned that I would curse you? Am I instead of God? Right? You have what you need to deal with God, but right? Or as Yaakov is telling to Rachel as well, you need to pray to God to have children, but am I the one that is causing you not to have children? The phrase Hatachat Elohim anochi, am I instead of God, or am I under God? Tachat can also mean under. Am I under God? Am I under God's presence? And if you notice, also Yaakov and also Yosef in this story are both outside of Israel. When Avraham blesses Yitzchak, his big blessing, that is done in Israel. When Yitzchak blesses Yaakov, that is done in Israel. The power of blessing, the power of the flip side of that, of cursing, both of them happen in Israel. Israel is such a spiritual place that we say, Avira de Eretz Yisrael machima. The air of Israel makes you wise. So much so that in the time of the Gemara, if there was a rabbi in Bavel, the big Jewish world of the diaspora, that said something, and another rabbi said something opposite in Israel, you go according to what the rabbi said in Israel, because he is going to be wiser just from being in Israel. We have a connection to the land in our DNA that says we need to be there. Yaakov is telling Rachel, "I wish I could bless you with children, but right now, being outside of Israel, I'm not in the same spiritual place that I am. I'm not in the same connection level with God that I want to be with." Hatachat Elohim anochi. Yosef tells his brothers, says, I'm not upset at you, but even if I was, I don't have powers here. right? The power of blessing, the power of cursing doesn't exist to the same extent outside of Israel. Bezrat Hashem, may we all be blessed from the land of Israel. Shabbat Shalom.